And what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another tournament prep video. So this is in preparation. So we have the annual competition, annual international tournament at Robert A. Black that we're getting prepared for. So that's going to be September. If I remember right, it's the week of the 21st, but it could be the week of the 26th. I don't remember, but I do know it's going to be coming up soon. Well, within next month. So trying to get ready for that. Um, right now, as you can see, I'm going through my usual drill. I always start off my practices working on putting. And like I said in the last video, the reason being for that is because putting is honestly one of the most important parts of the game. It's like if I can't putt, there's a problem. So, I always start with putting. Starting off with the ladder drill. The ladder drill basically just helps me, again, just get my hands synced up to actually hit putts. So I start off with right hand, then also left hand, and then both hands, going from the first tee, which is at 1 foot, all the way to the fifth tee, 5 feet. Um, and again, sometimes I add consequences to these just so that way it kind of helps me focus in and actually take my time with hitting these putts. If you hear a little something in the background, that is my dog, Mighty Lorraine Mathis, apparently. Don't ask me why she's got a middle name or how she got that middle name. It just happened. So, going to get, I think, my water bottle to get something to drink here. like I said earlier, like with this drill, I do um right hand first, then left hand, and then I go with both hands. Right now you see me going with the left hand. Basically, with the left hand, I'm trying to pull the ball towards the hole and follow through towards the hole with my left hand. So that way I know that the ball is actually going online. With the right hand, I'm pushing, left hand, I'm pulling. You see me put both hands on the grip just to make sure everything's lined up the way it's supposed to. And then there you go. I hit my putt, and you see I pull towards the hole with my left hand. I don't cut across it or anything like that, because if I cut across it, unfortunately, it's going to put some side spin to it. It's going to spin to the right if I cut across it. But if I get everything to go back and through on a nice rhythm, then it works out.
Don't look for it too early. Don't look for it too early. Keep your head back and just make sure that you make contact with the golf ball first. Because when you bring your head up early, you can just make everything else out of the swing. Now you was aiming for this one. Let him stop it.
Yeah, as you can see, like this day was one of the more crowded days. And actually, like in terms of crowd, it actually wasn't too bad. Like I say, it was just that, there was a lot of guys that I grew up playing with that ended up there and stuff like that. So, got to talk to some of them, got to show some things to others. So, everything worked out, and I like to help out when I can. There you go. Two hands, basically making sure that both hands are working in sync. Looks like no issues there. Now, after I do my ladder drill, which is the five T's and everything, I go into the gate drill, basically making sure that my putter stays online. So just trying to make sure that my putter gets through the gate, which are the two T's around the putter head, and basically just trying to hit the ball dead square in the center. If I was to hit the tee on the heel side, then I know that I'm hitting the ball more in the toe. And then if I'm hitting the tee on the toe side, I'm hitting it in the heel, which can be a little detrimental to putting, as that helps me with distance control. Um, Mighty is over here chewing on her bone. Lord have mercy. So yeah, so basically just working on making sure that I hit the center of the putter face. Now with this drill, I don't worry about making the putts. It's like there are some people that like to use this drill and worry about making putts. This is one that I don't worry about making putts, and the reason for that is because the main thing that I'm worried about is my putter's path. I'm not worried about exactly making the putt itself, because of course the one thing is, if you realize, is if you have the putt on the correct path, well, have the putter going on the correct path, you hit your line, which then if you hit your line, you actually make the putt. So with this drill, I don't worry about really hitting the hole. You can hear that I do actually put it in the hole, but I'm not exactly worried about it. I'm just more or less worried about making sure that I got my hands going correctly, and then I'm also getting the putter head through the gate. So with this, I also tend to do a little bit of a rotation. So I'll go right hand, left hand, and then both hands. Sometimes I'll do like two, three times where I go right hand, two, three times where I go left hand, and then two, three times where I go both hands. Here I did few sets of right hands, few sets of left hand, and then sets of both hands, which again just helps with getting everything synced up and ready for the day. after I do the gate drills, I usually have some other drills that I do, like I do a little bit of around the world and stuff like that. Here, I'm just worried about lag putting and making sure that I'm hitting my lines and lining up the way I'm supposed to. This is more for also my routine, making sure that my routine stays consistent in terms of like how I read putts and then actually setting up for the putt and things like that. My dog is going to town. So with this, I'm going between four different holes. See the red flag that's kind of right next to me. Then there's another one, and then there's a couple of blue flags I went to as well. Um, and you can kind of see off camera, like I'm also trying to get to some other holes and just longer putts. So it's like the main goal of my lag putting, and this is just a general rule for me, is that I try to hit the putt and get it to the hole, but if I can get it there and it goes past, I'm only looking for it to go past at least 2, 3 feet. Um, if I do end up further than that, at most 5 feet. Reason for being is because since I practice 5 foot putts anyway, with the ladder drills, it makes it easier for me to make those 5 foot comebackers because I've dealt with it enough as it is. So, you know, anywhere between 2 and 5 feet, I'm okay. I don't want to leave anything further than that because then that brings a lot more variables in the putt. And I tell this to all my students too, especially when it comes to putting. It's like at most they should put it past 2 feet because one thing is it's like I'd rather know that I gave the putt a chance to get into the hole than leave it short and seeing that I didn't give it a chance. All right, now I'm hitting some quick chip shots just to kind of get a little bit of ball striking, kind of like warmed up and ready to go. So I'm trying to hit some just some general chip shots. Um, you know, open face, closed face, and also like neutral face because that helps me stay a little bit more versatile with my short game. And one thing is I also preach say, hey, you should be able to chip with practically any club in your bag. I can chip with all the way up to my 2 iron if I need to. It's like there's a lot of times where I don't need to, so it's like it's in the bag just in case. Um, Mainly for like very long greens where it's like, maybe putting is not the move, or I don't want to try to fly it all the way there, but I want to get like a good roll on it. Then that's when I take out like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 iron to try to get that ball to actually roll a little bit more. I could also just hood the wedge and just try to get it to roll that way, but sometimes that doesn't work out as well because it can spin. So um like I said, this is just more general chip shots that I'm trying to hit, not trying to do anything fancy or anything like that. So, like I said, this is just more of a sort of warm up kind of deal with these chip shots.
I caught it
All
down
right,
low.
and shout out
Yeah, but
to
it's
my
only
boy
like maybe
Reese
one fish.
with Party Time Golf Club, one of the leagues that plays over at South Shore. He's usually there getting his reps in as well, and I kind of joined him a little bit. So there are some flags now at not Jackson Park, wow, South Shore that are like from here are about 100 so yards away.
That gets
Um,
5 feet in front of the pin. Guess
Here
what?
we're working on shaping some
Chance to win.
shots and getting them to some of those flags. Previously on the shot before this, Reese had hit one that was a little thin, but it actually worked out
What's
for
up,
what he
dog?
was
How you
trying to
doing?
shoot
Man,
for.
everything's good. How about that one? How
As you
about
can
it?
tell, as you can tell, there are a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
a good
people
one.
that I know that
Yeah,
came
that's
out
the one
today.
there. That's a good one.
Um,
My heart is beating
so
fast.
yeah, so basically just working on
Pros
hitting
looking at me.
different shots and
Yeah,
everything.
baby. How you been, dog? I'm good. How you
Yeah, I got a 9 iron. The wind was
doing?
picking
Got some
up
good bad
particularly
guys.
this day,
Look, I asked him.
so I'm trying to take 9 iron and just kind of
I had to clean
hit
up. I
small cuts
played.
here and there,
I
just
played
try
with
to
my
get
girl
it to the
Anna
hole,
on
well,
Friday
to the
out
flag,
at
because there's really no hole on
Glen Woody.
this.
And the conditions out there? You the greens are great, but you know with all the rain, it's it's dried out. Look how pretty that is. It's dried out
And a
in
pretty
a
good shot
lot
there.
in a lot of the
Like I said,
sections.
trying to
You
hit
know the
some
one
cuts
when you go
into these
down inside
flags,
the gully.
because I'm just like
And
just trying to shape the
11.
shot
Yeah.
as
Got
best
one
as
of
I
my old
can.
golf ball. Door? Yeah. I just looked. I was like, that's a Slick on 11. And I looked at the mark. Oh, that's my. That's one of mine. Your mark is on there? Yeah. Let me see. Let me see.
One of the things that
Oh,
you
I have
find.
a six. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You don't
the
want me
fun things
standing
that you
around. You
find.
belong. He's not that bad. Yeah.
You know, gotta chop it up
Yeah,
every so
you know
often.
that hole
But
where
yeah,
you drop
just
down and
like I
come up?
said, just trying to hit
11.
hit some different shots
Uh,
here and there. Like
10,
I'm trying to
you
play
got
both
18,
sides of the ball,
that's
especially
16.
trying to get ready for
Oh, okay,
tournaments.
that
Like
one.
that's
That's
what I'm
16.
looking for.
Second time you go through that. 16. That's pretty. Yeah, so the
Yeah,
racer
that was a good
came
one
by
right there.
and said, man, when them storms hit,
It's
it's
also
going to
nice
be
to hit a ball that
actually
I know is gonna
yeah.
respond the
He
way I
said
wanted
water
it to
was up
respond.
to here, down there. I was like, damn. So when the water went back, it all dried out. So they got it all they got it all worked out now. So it's you know it's just dirt and other stuff like that. So. Get a chance to play yesterday? No. Oh, okay. Canceled at Coyote Run. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Cool. How's it feeling, baby? All right. DJ, man, that's great shots, man. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now getting some bunker practice in. Um, Normally I usually don't hit out of the sand too much for practice, mainly because I enjoy hitting out of the bunkers as much as already as it is. And so I'm not worried about hitting out of bunkers too much because that's something that I've really grown particularly strong at, as you can see from that first shot. So normally I don't worry about my bunker play until like I really have to, especially like in terms of some of my other tournaments where it's like, hey, the sand might be a little softer or anything like that. That's the only time I really worry about it. So then I'll try to find somewhere that has softer sand. But otherwise, on this day, I'll just practice it just to make sure that everything was where it needed to be.
not scully. You remember that 5 iron too? Me? Yeah. You know what's crazy is that I'm not a member. I'm actually, I go there a lot. But my wife and I were actually opening up the sim on 53rd. Open up a sim what? On 53rd in Lake Park. Really? Yeah. Okay. 53rd in Lake Park. Yeah, I'm trying to get it open by the National next year. But it'll be right next to the LA Phillies. Okay, got you. So I'm hoping that, yeah, hopefully, and I got addicted to it, and then I lived down here. I took it up to the south side. So, you remember 5 iron? I used to be a golf instructor for 5 iron. Which one? Lincoln Park. Yeah, they got four of them. But they don't have anything in the south side, right? Is there anything in the
And
south
then,
side
like
down
I
there?
said, with me kind of being a golf instructor, I'm always looking to help out people with whatever they need help with. So, like on this day, you know, a guy came over and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to learn how to hit out the bunkers." Okay, cool, no problem.
If you want to
You
interrupt,
know,
we open to the
I
left.
take the time to kind of
Yeah, I
answer
know.
any
I got
questions
you.
and
I'm
things
sorry.
like that
No.
because I want people to play their best, and that's just my philosophy as a golf instructor.
I just need help. I just started playing the game this year. Okay.
Yeah, as
And
you can see, like the guy asked, he needs some help. So, I was like, hey, I'm gonna help.
First time myself in a bunker.
As always, my mindset is like, if somebody asks for it, I'll go ahead and help them out.
Really, right now, I don't know if you noticed, I'm okay. I'm just starting to be able to really get it out. Yeah. I'm taking a crazy amount of sand. So I'm trying to figure out how much sand y'all are taking. So I don't take a lot of sand. That's what I noticed. Like, that's what because I was taking all these stuff. I thought you're not really because we were looking, it was like, yeah, you definitely took a lot. Yeah, you're not trying to take a lot of sand out. You're just trying to take enough that's gonna lift the golf ball up. The problem with me is that fine line between enough and sculling it for me, it doesn't exist. So I either scull it or I hit it. Right.
And I will say, like, that can kind of be a little,
So yeah, so
um,
the way that
what I'm saying
I
can be
learned how to
taken
do it was
a
like
little
this
bit
is what
differently.
we
So
do.
what I'm saying is like, when it comes to bunker shots, I'm not trying to
The way
take
I
a
learned how to
lot
do
of
it
sand to
was
pop the ball up
open up
into
the
the air. I'm
bowl
trying to take
and
at
mainly
least
what I'm trying to
enough
do is I'm
to
trying to
get it
hit
to
it
pop up in the air and then also kind of land as softly as possible. So for me, what I do is I open up the face.
I go a
Um,
little bit of both.
I
So it's
now
like
line
for
up
me, I go
parallel
down with it, but
to
I'm
my
also not
target
trying to get so far
than
down with
anything
it. It's like
else.
I get more sand
And
coverage.
then like I said,
It's almost
I
like you're
when
trying
I
to. It's
swing
almost like
down
you're
into the
trying to
ball,
catch
I'm
air with it.
swinging
You
down
don't
to
want to go too
get
far
that club
deep
to go
and you
underneath
don't
the
want to go
sand, but I'm
too
not trying to
deep
go down
to
to
where
really
you go
dig
really
into it.
nasty.
And
Yep.
when I hit, I'm usually
So
hitting like a
that
couple
one
inches
thing you
before the
always have to
golf
remember
ball,
is to
so
hit
that way I
it.
get that sand to kind of, go underneath the ball and pop it straight out.
I'm gonna look at get my club into the sand right around me.
Just like that.
That's hard. I know it looks. It, I will say it does take a lot of practice, and then for a lot, I wouldn't say for a lot of people. Like I use like more specialty weights. So like I don't know what's the bounce on yours, Maurice.
And what I'm talking
See,
about
I
is
use
more of an
sixes. I have
equipment
sixes
question than
bounce.
anything else.
A lot of
So
people, right? They use sixes.
for a good amount of players,
So
our
I use
wedges
a
have
six,
different degrees of
and
bounce. The
that's really
bounce is
because I like
basically
to
to help with
overuse a lot
the
with my
turf
club.
interaction
So the
between
6 degrees
the
of
golf
bounce just
club
makes
and
it
the
a lot
actual turf or
easier to
whatever
just like
you're hitting from.
really put it on the
So
ground
I
nice and
tend to
flat.
go with a little bit
So
more
I get to
specialty
play
wedges.
a lot of
So like my
open face
58
shots the way I
degree
want to.
is 58
I
degrees of
used to
loft
use
and
10
6
degrees, and
degrees of
then it's
bounce.
like
I
I
tend
found like
to
lower bounces to be
pick
more
the
versatile
ball a
for me.
little bit
It's like
more with my wedges than most. So I use the
for
6 degree
like a
because
lot of
like I
people
really
say
don't
more
need that much
bounces
bounce
and you
protect
don't want
from
to
the
do
turf
that.
interaction.
It's too.
Also, for
But for
me,
me,
it
I
makes that
like it
wedge
that
a
way.
little
It's
bit
like
more
I don't
versatile
understand
because I'm
now
able to
more
open
of
up
my
the
hitting stuff where
face
it's like I don't want to
practically
take
up
it
to the
that far.
sky to hit whatever shot I want, whether it's like for a chip shot, flop
That's the one
shot,
I need to help with.
bunker shot, whatever the case may
I'm
be.
doing
Like
nose
that
guys.
wedge is very versatile
Yeah, that's
because I
more
can open
nose
it and
guys.
close it
I will say
however I
hard
want
because
to.
I'm putting so much sand in it. Yeah, you hit it right in the head. Whereas you're really just trying to get the club to go through the sand, not into it and then stop it. It's through it and off it.
And that's another thing I like to tell my students. It's like, hey, when you're hitting out of the sand, don't let the sand stop you. Let the like just get the club to go through the sand,
Because the
just
sand is
like
gonna
that.
get the ball to come up, and it's also gonna get it to spin too. Because it's just like you
And
have to
that's
have
gonna
a
be
choice of how much
another
sand you get.
tournament prep day. You know, this was also kind of like a little bit of a social day, helping out other people. But this was another tournament prep day. If you guys have any questions or even want to get golf lessons, definitely check out my website, smoothgolf.com.
And I
And,
also
you
give
know,
lessons
I'll
too.
be happy to help you out
Yeah,
with your game
like I
and,
said, I was a
you know,
golf
get you
instructor for
ready.
5 iron.
All
I
right.
was there for,
Thank you
so
guys,
I actually
and
wore
I'll
a
catch you
couple
guys
hats. So
later.
like, my first job with 5 iron was assistant